A very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Henderson State University Baseball. We're here on the campus of Clyde Berry Field as a non-conference action as the Reddies take on the 24th-ranked Delta State Statesmen in this 9-inning affair. Of course, originally it was scheduled for a doubleheader. We changed it to a single 9-inning game due to scheduling issues. So a single 9-inning affair today between the Statesmen and the Reddies. Delta State coming in with a record of 20-9. They've won 8 straight. They've moved into the top 25. They're 24th in the Collegiate Baseball News top 30 poll, and they come in at number 24. The Reddies coming off a series win over Southern Arkansas. They took 2 or 3 from the Mule Riders. They're 14-17 on the season. So the Reddies Henderson State check mic 1 2 test 1 2 3 4 test 1 2 3 4 check mic 1 2 check mic 1 2 test 1 2 3 4. I'm not getting a reading on this. Mic 1 2. Check mic 1 2. Test 1 2 3 4. Check mic 1 2 3 4. Check mic 1 2 3 4. Check. Check mic 1 2 3 4. Very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, for Henderson State baseball. About to get this thing started as the Reddies and the number 24 ranked Delta State Statesmen here live from Clyde Berry Field on the campus of Henderson State. First batter to the plate for Delta State, the Brandon Cummings, the center fielder, hitting .363 on this Delta State team. A very good offensive team, and first shot to right field, a single for Brandon Cummings to start things off for Delta State. So Delta State 20-9 on the season, number 24 in the latest collegiate baseball top 25 poll. The Reddies 14-17 after taking 2 or 3 from Southern Arkansas. It's a little bit late getting started here, but we'll bring you the full lineups momentarily. Chris Pretty, the pitcher for Henderson State, with a 1-0 record. He's now facing Tritt Giambroni, as Giambroni hitting .396 on the season. A very veteran ball club. 80% of the players on this Delta State roster are junior college or D1 transfers. So a lot of transfers on this team, as pitch from Pretty is for a strike. This team comes in with a very hefty team batting average. As Pretty prepares to bring his next pitch, breaking ball high for ball 1. Delta State hitting .339 as a team, a .514 slugging percentage. Hit 29 home runs this year as a team, 65 doubles. And again, chasing Cummings back in the first. Everyone in the starting lineup, 8 of the 9 players, I should say, hitting above 300 in this lineup for Delta State. Pitch in there for a called strike 2. 7 seniors in the starting lineup, a junior and 1 freshman, and then a junior pitcher. So a veteran ball club. Delta State from the Gulf South Conference, a conference that Henderson State was part of for 26 years. Pitch fouled back. So Giambrone batting second, playing second base, and the 3-hole will be Will Robertson and playing left field. Batting fourth, the third baseman Ethan Gill. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter Ben Pickard. Batting sixth, the right fielder Jacob Sweeney. Batting seventh, the first baseman Colton Welch. Batting eighth, the shortstop Eric Santiago, and batting ninth, the catcher Matt Barrett. Pretty with the 1-2 delivery. There goes the runner faked like he was going. The pitch is low for ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Reddies defensively. Right field will be Joseph Gary, left field or center field to Darius Hawkins, left field Luke McGuire, Hunter Mayle at first, AJ Cruzel at second, Frank Cialino at short, and Jordan Taylor at third, Jared Gage the catcher, and of course Chris Pretty on the mound. There's a pitch. There's a ground ball to Cialino, over to Cruzel, back to first for the double play, the twin killing. So 2 away after the double play ball, the 6-4-3 twin killing. Just what the doctor ordered here early for Chris Pretty. And that'll bring up Will Robertson. He's hitting .402 for this club. 14 doubles, a pair of home runs, 28 RBIs on the season, a .580 slugging percentage. Pretty, 2.86 ERA, 1-0 on the season, 22 innings of work, and he's first pitch to Robertson outside for ball 1. Of course, he had the victory last week, pitched 7 hitless shutout innings against Hendricks, as relief pitchers came on, and Henderson State went on to hold on to win 5-3 as the next pitch is low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So a little bit different competition this week from a Division III Hendricks team to a nationally ranked Division II Delta State, and there's 3 balls to Robertson. On deck will be Ethan Gill. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Just underway here. First inning, 1 game, a single 9-inning affair today. Here's the 3-1. Pitch outside for ball 4. So Robertson will reach on a walk. The second base runner of the inning for Delta State. And that'll bring up Ethan Gill. The third baseman for Delta State, hitting .326 on the season, has a pair of home runs, 12 doubles, 26 RBIs. So Robertson at first, getting a little bit of a lead. Not too big of a lead. Here's the first pitch, swung on a miss for strike 1. Henderson State heads to Weatherford, Oklahoma this weekend for a 3-game set with Southwestern Oklahoma. Single game on Friday at 2, and then the doubleheader on Saturday. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, held up, ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Also going on campus later today is Henderson State softballs. They take on Ouachita Baptist. First pitch at 5 o'clock, doubleheader over at D. White Field. Here's the 1-1. The deep fly ball to left center field. Luke McGuire takes chase, and he'll make the catch in front of the warning track, and that'll do it for Delta State. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We move to the bottom half of the first inning. Your score, Delta State 0, Henderson State coming to bat. We'll take a timeout, come back with more of Henderson State baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Bottom of the first inning, Hunter Mayo due up for the Reddies. The Ready first baseman hitting .252 on the season. Batting second will be Jordan Taylor. In the 3 spot will be A.J. Cruzel. Darius Hawkins will bat 4th. Joseph Gary 5th. Luke McGuire 6th. Hayden Lessenberry 7th. Jared Gage 8th. And Frank Cholito 9th. And they'll be going up against junior left-handed pitcher, or junior right-handed pitcher, Jacob Howe. 7.36 ERA. He's 0-1 on the season. Swung on a miss for strike 2. I was told earlier today by Sports Information Director Fred Singleton, said this guy has been really coming out of the bullpen lately and trying to work him into a little bit of midweek starting role. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside for ball 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hunter Mayo. Defensively for Delta State, Jacob Sweeney in right, Brandon Cummings in center, and Will Robertson in left field. Around the horn is Colton Welch, Trent Giambroni at shorts, Eric Santiago, third base, Ethan Gill. Here's a pitch fouled out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matt Barrett, the catcher, and pitching, of course, Jacob Howe. One, 2 count to Hunter Mayo. They'll reach out, touch this one, and Ethan Gill comes up and makes the play from third to first for 1 away. Brings up Jordan Taylor, .286 hitter for the Reddies. Struggling a little bit lately. The junior third baseman for the Reddies. First pitch. Inside for ball 1. Our umpire, a little bit of a delay. And now the 1-0. Swung on, fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Hal gets his sign from his catcher, Barrett, and now he's ready to fire. And here's the 1-1. Pitch in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 delivery. Swings and misses, went out fishing for that one. He went way outside to go get that. And there's 2 away. Brings up the second baseman for the Reddies, number 12, A.J. Cruzel. Cruzel hitting .312 on the season. Last 5 games, he's hitting .467. He's 7 for 15 in the last 5 games with 2 triples and 4 RBIs. Of course, the big triple the other day to help Henderson State beat Southern Arkansas in that first game on Friday night. Had to lead off triple in extra innings and came and scored on a wild pitch. Pitch popped up. Left side, third baseman Ethan Gill there, and he'll make the play, and that'll do it for Henderson State. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We've played 1. Your score, no score, 0-0. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Top of the second inning, no score here from Clyde-Berry Field on the campus of Henderson State University. Glad you could join us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Arkadelphia. Ben Pickard, the batter for Delta State, hitting .336 on the season. 8 doubles, 7 home runs. 7 looks to be the magic number for Delta State. Several players with 7 home runs to lead the team. And first pitch in for a called strike to Pickard. Let us know where you're watching today as we bring you this broadcast. Here's a chopper to Chelino. He's up with it over to first, and there's one away. Message us there on our video stream. There's a little chat board, and let us know where you're watching today's game. Always like to hear from the fans watching baseball, whether it be at home or sneak in watching the games, not letting the bosses know at your office or wherever you're at. Next batter is Sweeney, and he hits a shot to left center field. Nice job by McGuire to cut it off, but it's still going to be a stand-up double for Sweeney. The left center field gap, and that'll be Sweeney's 7th double of the season. Colton Welch now the batter, hitting .319 on the season. Runner at second base is Sweeney. Second hit of the game for Delta State. Pretty looks back. Sweeney at second. Now he'll deliver, and there's a shot right up the middle, and that will go in to the mitt of Darius Hawkins in center field. And there's 2 away. That brings up Eric Santiago, hitting .393 on the season. 3 doubles, 1 home run, 11 RBIs. This Delta State team. Another one of the seniors in the lineup. Like we said, a veteran ball club. Went down the roster, was counting the number of players on the team, then looking to see the number of junior college or Division I transfers, and nearly 80% of that roster are junior college transfers or just regular Division I transfers. So a lot of experience on this club. There's the 0-1. There's a ground ball to Chelino, 3-hopper. He'll throw to first, and they'll do it for Delta State here in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the second. Delta State 0, Henderson State 0. Take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Bottom of the second inning to bring up to Darius Hawkins, Joseph Gary, and Luke McGuire for the Reddies. Hawk now hitting .318 for the Reddies, leading the team. He's been hot lately. Had a great weekend against Southern Arkansas. First pitch in for a strike. Personally, I thought he should have been Conference Player of the Week because of his performance, especially since the Reddies won 2 of 3 from Southern Arkansas. But next pitch low for ball 1, 1 strike. But of course, I'm a little biased. Hawkins hitting .424 in the last 10 games, 14 of 33. And they hit 4. And here's a ground ball to the second baseman, one hopper, easy play for Trent Giambroni. And there's one away. Brings up the right fielder, Joseph Gary. Gary hitting .200 on the season. Flirting with the Mendoza line. It's 4 of 19 in the last 10 games. He takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Now has his sign, and now he'll kick and fire. Pitch low for ball 2, 2-0. This finishes a 5-game homestand for the Reddies. Like I said, they go on the road, play Southwestern Oklahoma in a 3-game set beginning Friday. This one's fouled out of play for strike 1. No midweek contest next week. And then next Friday, a week from Friday, back home, to begin a 3-game series with Northwestern Oklahoma on Friday night at 6 o'clock. And that's April 8th. And 2-1 count. Gary calls timeout. Now, earlier that day is their Henderson State Baseball Ready Golf Scramble at the Gray Lake. 4-person scramble. Teeing off at 10 o'clock. Here's the 2-1 to Gary. Swung on another chopper to the second baseman, Giambroni, but bobbles it in a minute, but recovers nicely and makes the play for the second out. Brings up Luke McGuire hitting .368 on the season. I see Mr. Pretty watching us again in Dallas. He's watching us. We won't say where he's watching. Don't want to get him in trouble. Hope he doesn't get any trouble. Good. Glad that he can join us. And he's watching his son pitch for the Reddies. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 1 to Luke McGuire. Talking to Coach Hooten earlier today and talking about the young pitchers on this Henderson State team. As McGuire waits for the 1-0 pitch from Howell, and here's the pitch. Low for ball 2. With Pretty and Eschberger and Patterson, the young guys really pitching well and getting better every time out. And he says we got more coming in the future. This coming in on this next recruiting class. Here's the 2-0 pitch. McGuire swung on a missed. Could be a very fierce pitching staff. Reddies really no seniors on the staff. Some of the veterans up and down this year, or get them a little bit more consistent. It's going to have one of the better pitching staffs around. Here's the 2-1. Swung on a miss. Our coach says we just need to get some big hitters. Get the offense. And that's what they're working on here in this offseason. The 2-2 pitch coming to Luke McGuire. Swung on a miss after going up 2-0 account. He swings at 3 straight. And he goes down swinging. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We move to the third. No score. We'll take a timeout and come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Top of the third inning as Matt Barrett will step to the plate for Delta State, hitting 184, a senior for the Statesman. Making his 15th start, takes the first pitch in for a strike. So no balls, one strike. Pretty. Next pitch swung on a miss. Took something off of it, a little breaking ball, and it's now 0-2. So no balls, two strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now the pitch. Swung on a miss, struck him out. First strikeout recorded today by Pretty. And that'll bring up Brandon Cummings back to the starting lineup, led off the game with a base hit. Cummings, the left-handed hitter, now hitting .368 on the season. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopper, foul. It's 0-1. Be interesting to see how far Pretty goes today. I know Coach said earlier he'd like to throw several pitchers. A lot of guys need to get some work in. 0-1 pitch, another foul ball, and it's 0-2. But a big series this weekend with Southwestern Oklahoma. Of course, you always gear to, you want to win them all. Of course, your main goal is going the road. But every series is at least get to win the series. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs for ball 1. But the main emphasis is get that first one, especially when you go on the road. Because then the pressure goes on the home team to have to win 2 the next day to win the series. Here comes the 1-2 from Pretty. Breaking ball right back at him. He tried to backhand it, couldn't. Chelino comes up with it over to first. Good play by Frank Chelino at short. Man, very aggressive play, and there's 2 away. Pretty tried to backhand it, went right over the mound, and Chelino came up and scooped it up and made a nice throw to Hunter Mayo at first. And now the second baseman, Trent Giambroni. Giambroni, the second baseman for Delta State. And he takes the first pitch low for ball 1. No scores. We played in the top half of the third inning. Here's the 1-0 in there for a strike. We were talking about that Henderson State Golf Tournament a week from Friday. Give Coach Hooten a call at 870-230-5071 if you want to enter your team or if you want to be a T-Box sponsor. Only $100 for a T-Box sponsor. Here's the 1-1. He fouls it off. Anybody can be a T-Box sponsor. It doesn't have to be a business. It could be just a family, a parent, whatever. It's $100. We'll put your name on the sign and you'll be on the T-Box. And of course, all proceeds benefit Ready Baseball. And the pitch. Breaking ball, fly ball to left field. And that could be trouble as it's off the wall. One hopper. Hawkins will field it and get it into Cialone at short. And a stand-up double for Giambroni. So the 13th double for Giambroni. And that'll bring up Will Robertson. Robertson walked his first time up. Runner at second base is Giambroni with the 2-out double. The third hit of the game for Delta State. They've had a hit in every inning. Here's the first pitch. It did hit him, and Now Delta State has runners on first and second with 2 away, and the 4-hole hitter due up Ethan Gill. Gill flew out the deep left his first time up. Has 2 home runs, 12 RBIs or 12 doubles on the season. Also 26 RBIs, and he's got a couple out there with 2 away here, top half of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike 1. Beautiful afternoon here. Nice little crowds. People sitting up in their trucks, back their trucks up to the top of the hill, getting some sun. Beautiful scenery here on the campus of Henderson State University. Here's the next pitch. Outside for ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Like we said, the Henderson State softball team in action here in a little bit. The doubleheader at 5 o'clock against Ouachita Baptist. It's rivalry Tuesday in softball and GAC softball action. Doubleheaders all around the conference. Rivalry schools as Henderson's playing OBU, Monticello playing Southern Arkansas, Arkansas Tech playing Harding here in the great state of Arkansas. And then, of course, rivalry over on the Oklahoma side as well. Here's the 1-1. Popped him up. Will stay in play. Mayo gives chase. Don't think it's going to stay in play. Bounces on top of the first base dugout, the Delta occupied by Delta State, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year, at this time, the Reddies were still trying to find a place to play. They didn't play at home or even practice at home in the month of March out on their field. It was tough. With all the weather we had and the field was underwater. Now with the synthetic surfaces, you don't have to worry about it here. Playing their 5th straight home game. Their 19th of the season at home. Here's the pitch. Just off the plate for ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Like I said, the Reddies played 10 home games last year. They're playing number 19 today. Runner at second, Giambroni. At first is Robertson, 2-2 count on the batter, Gill. Purdy has a sign from Gaze. Looks back to runner at second base, and now he'll kick and fire the breaking ball, and it hits him. So after the double, he hits back-to-back batters. Now the base is loaded, and that'll bring up Ben Pickard, the designated hitter, who grounded out to short his first time up. Now Purdy in just a little bit of a jam. He's got 2 away. Gave up the double, then back-to-back hit by pitches. Though Delta State does crowd and lean into it. Pitch outside for ball 1. Used to, when Henderson played them in the Gulf South Conference, and now Coach Cody Hooten's going to make a little trip to the mound to talk to Purdy. But during those days, a lot of times I remember Delta State players being hit by pitches. They crowd that plate and they'll get close, and they're not afraid to get hit by it any way they can get on base. Just part of the game. Nothing wrong with it. It's just part of the game. Now you see it. It's called a little bit closer. Umpires will bring them back if they see that the batter tried to lean into it. Not like it used to be. You got to hit regardless they were sending you. Now they think that you're leaning into it. They'll pull you back. We've seen that several times already this year. And now Coach Hooten's concerned about something. Now the conversation has been broken up, and we're ready to go back to play. As 1-0 count to Pickard, hitting .333. Grounded out to short his first time up. Nowhere to put him. Need to get the out here. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2, 2-0. Now he's not getting that pitch called. Man, behind the plate's going to make him work for a little bit harder. The pitch looked good there. He was calling that pitch earlier. Another breaking ball. This one is a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1 count to Pickard. Started with a 2-out double, then back-to-back hit batters. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball high, and it's 3-1. And it's just been a constant serving of breaking balls by Pretty here. No action yet in the Ready bullpen, but I feel if Pickard reaches, you're going to see somebody scamper down. Next pitch is low, and they walk the run in. So Delta State scores on a walk. 2 hit batters and a walk. And that breaks up the 10 scoreless innings that Pretty had pitched going into this one. That'll bring up Jacob Sweeney, the right fielder. Bases full of Statesmen as we play in the top of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. Sweeney doubled his last time up, now hitting .312. Doubled this time, clear the bases most likely. Here's the 0-1. Another breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. We were moving right along, but now this is just slowed down to a snail's pace. The 1-1 pitch. Again, outside for ball 2. And he is having difficulties now. He doesn't want to throw hit inside pitch because he's hit 2 batters already, and because Delta State's really crowding the plate. They're right on top of that line. And I think he's got him a little skittish right now to throw anything inside. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss for strike 2. So 2-2 count to Sweeney. Pretty trying to get out of a big jam right here. Base is full of Statesmen here as we play in the top of the 3rd inning. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball fouled back. Just got a piece of it. So 2-2 count. Breaking ball fouled out of play. The count remains 2-2. Sweeney now has a sign. Now he'll kick and fire. A breaking ball popped him up. Darius Hawkins comes in, and he makes the play, and that'll do it for Delta State. But they do get 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. They leave 3 runners stranded. Move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Delta State 1, Henderson State 0. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Move to the bottom of the third inning. Hayden Lessenberry up for the Reddies. First pitch. Lessenberry hitting .224 on the season. 1-0 count to Lessenberry. Next pitch outside for ball 2. 2-0 count to Les. And now the pitch. Popped him up at foul, and the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Two 1 count. Here's the pitch. Right back up the middle, off the shin of Howe. Nice play by the second baseman, Giambroni, and Lessenberry robbed of a hit, the old 1-4-3 put out. That brings up Jared Gage. Gage hitting 176. Calls time. Al took too much time. Pitch. Low for ball 1. There's the pitch. Inside. 2-0. Two-0 count to Gage. Next pitch inside and low, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. And the pitch inside, and the first base runner for the Reddies today. Breaks up the perfect game as Gage will reach on a walk, and that'll be Frank Cialino, the bat for the Reddies. Cialino looking for his second hit of the season. The first pitch way outside for ball 1. Cialino, the junior from Russellville, transfer from Crowder College. Here's the 1-0. Chopper just foul. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. One away as we play in the bottom of the third, 1-0 Delta State. Here's the 1-1. Low and outside, it's 2-1. And now Gage almost gets caught too far off the bag. Two balls and 1 strike. Hal looks back, the runner at first base. Now the pitch. On the outside corner for strike 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-2 count. The pitch. High, and it's 3-2. Hal gets a sign in the stretch. Now the pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. And that brings up Hunter Mayall. Mayall grounded out the third his first time up. Hal taking his good old time now. Pitch way outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two away here in the bottom of the third inning. Runner at first base is Gage, who reached on a walk. There's the 1-1. The inside, and it's 2-1. Jordan Taylor on deck if Mayall should reach. The 2-1. In there for a strike, it's 2-2. 2-2 count to Hunter Mayall. The pitch. Outside is 3-2, and there goes Gage. And he'll reach safely. So it'll be a wild pitch to get him to second base. Count is full to Mayall. Gage now standing at second base. Two away. Hal ready to deliver the payoff pitch to Hunter Mayall. And he is just makes the pitch inside for ball 4. Hal becoming a human rain delay here. And he gets runners on base. Just so slow. And now he brings up Jordan Taylor. A strikeout victim back in the first inning. Taylor way overdue. It's 4 for 15 in the series this week, or in the last 5 games. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. So 1-0 count to Jordan Taylor. Pitch low, and it's 2-0. And now, Kinnison wants time. He brings everybody in. So Coach Kinnison going to make the walk to the mound to talk to his hurler. Reddies have runners on first and second with 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And big discussion on the mound. Again, the Reddies hit the road for Weatherford, Oklahoma. They'll leave Thursday afternoon, or early Thursday morning. About a 7.5-hour trip. About another 45 minutes on the other side of Oklahoma. 50 miles on the other side of Oklahoma City. And they'll play a 3-game set. Single game Friday afternoon and a doubleheader on Saturday before heading home. And no midweek games next week. And they'll prepare for the game with 3-game set with Northwestern Oklahoma State. 2-0 count to Jordan Taylor with 2 men on. Howell ready to deliver the 2-0 pitch. Outside, and it's 3-0. And having some control problems a little bit here in the 3rd inning. A.J. Cruzel on deck if Jordan Taylor should reach. So 2-0 count. The pitch swung on. There's a base hit to left or right field. Rounding 3rd and headed for home with the tying run is Jared Gage. Hunter Mayo will head to 3rd, and the Reddies have tied it up here in the bottom half of the 1st inning on the single by Jordan Taylor. Just over the outstretched arms of the second baseman, Trent Giambroni. That'll bring up A.J. Cruzel with 2 away. Taylor with the 3-0 pitch delivers. Got the green light on 3-0. Delivers. See if Cruz can give the Reddies the lead now. Pitch, there's a deep fly ball. Going back on is the center fielder Cummings, and he'll make it on the track. And that'll do it. But A.J. Cruzel gave it a ride. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We've played 3. Henderson State 1, Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more of Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Top half of the 4th inning. Colton Welch due up for Delta State. Hitting .315 on the season. Lined out to center his first time up. Game tied at 1 here. First pitch to Welch in for a strike. Welch, 21 RBIs on the season. He's hit 5 home runs. Next pitch. Must have been just off the plate for ball one. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pretty still pitching for the Reddies. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball high. 2-2. Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball outside. So now count is full. Nobody yet in the Ready bullpen. Here comes the payoff pitch from Pretty. Fouled out of play. We'll do it again. Here's the payoff. Again, we foul it off. Some other action around the Great American Conference in baseball. Arkansas Monticello taking on Central Baptist. Central Baptist leads in the top of the 4th, 3-2. Oklahoma Panhandle State's at Southern Nazarene today. East Central at Southeastern Oklahoma in non-conference action. Here's the payoff. Low, and he walked him. The University of Science and Arts is taking on Oklahoma Baptist. LSU Shreveport is facing Southern Arkansas today. Well, leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Santiago, who grounded out to third his first time up. A backhand grounder, and that's going to go into left field, and won't be generous. So 2 on and nobody out. And that'll bring up Matt Barrett. Chialino had to go to his right and backhand it. Couldn't get to it. And now Delta State with runners on again, first and second, and nobody out. Walks and hit batters will kill you. And the leadoff walk here is standing at second base for the go-ahead run. Still no action in the Henderson State bullpen. So 1-0 count to Barrett. Struck out last time up. The pitch. Again outside. He's having problems with that pitch. He can't get it across today. Not as effective as he has been his last couple times out with that pitch. Here comes the 2-0 from Pretty. Popped him up on the infield. It'll be an infield fly roll. The batter will be out. Chialino will make the catch. So there's one away. Brings up Brandon Cummings, hitting .365. He's 1 for 2. Singled and grounded out to short. Reddies need a double play ball here. Delta State has had base runners on every inning and a base hit every inning. They have 4 hits on the afternoon as we play in the top of the 4th inning. Runners on first and second with 1 away. Let's see if Pretty can get out of it. Pitch is high and outside for ball one. You look at every Delta State hitter, and they get all the way up to the toes, touching that line of the batter's box as far as they can, so they don't, what old coach of mine said, don't run out of bat. Be able to get it clear across the plate and be able to reach. But they're that inside pitch. Here's a pitch, popped him up. It's a high fly ball. Tadarius Hawkins has to come a long way. Luke McGuire will call him off, and he'll make the catch. So now there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Trent Giambroni. Giambroni doubled his last time up. Got things started for the Statesman. Doubled and ended up scoring after Pretty hit the next 2 batters and walked Pickard. And now, with 2 away, he steps to the plate with a chance to drive in a run. Hitting .398 on the season. One of the top hitters on this Delta State team. You want to get him out because the next batter is your top hitter, and Will Robertson. Pretty looks back at first, and now he looks over at second. Delivers the 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. I'll say, if the man behind the plate wasn't going to call it, that would have made a lot of people. He's just a slow calling umpire. Takes his time. Not very deliberate. 1-1 pitch. Again, that breaking ball is high and away. That's 2-1. Runner at second is Welch. At first is Santiago. 2 away, 2-1 count to Giambroni. Pretty on the mound for the Reddies, working his 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped him up, and Krusel backpedals, and he makes the catch, and Pretty gets out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, Delta State 0, or Delta State 1, Henderson State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tadarius Hawkins steps up for the Reddies. Grounded out to second base his first time up. First pitch to Hawkins way outside for ball 1. Howell still on the pitch. Jacob Howell. He's working his 4th inning. Howell had only worked 7 innings previously. Here's the first pitch. Next pitch is fouled back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Tied up at 1 here at Clyde Berry Field on the Henderson State campus. Playing the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 1-0. Low. Oh, no way he went. He didn't even take the bat off his shoulders. Holy cow. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Cody Hooten. Boy, that was brutal there. He didn't take the bat off his shoulders. He just flinched. My goodness. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Way outside. And it's 2-2. And it actually should be 3-1. Man. Well, Hawkins has to protect. Anything close, these guys are going to call it. 2-2 count. Pitch, and there's a chopper to the first baseman. That's Welch, and he'll field it cleanly and make the play. That brings up the right fielder, Joseph Gary, grounded out the second his first time up. That can do when the man behind the plate takes the bat out of your hands. Puts you in a situation where you just got to swing at anything. Here's the pitch to Gary. Low for ball 1. Next pitch, foul ball. 2-1. Now the pitch. Call, strike. Holy cow. My goodness. Two count. Swing and a miss. And there's 2 away. Luke McGuire step up to the plate. Strikeout victim back in the second inning. Swing and a miss. Next pitch. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luke hitting .350. Seven for 20 on the year. And there's a shot right back up the middle. That'll be a base hit. So McGuire get Henderson's second hit of the day. And that'll bring up Hayden Lessenberry, the ready DH. Hit right back up the middle, hit off the shin of Howe, and went into the glove at Giambroni. He was able to retire him. A 1-4-3 his last time up. Hitting .221. Not having the offensive season that he'd like. See if we can get him going here in the latter half of the year. Of course, worried about McGuire at first base, getting the lead. McGuire just 1 for 1 on stolen bases this year. Making only his 5th start, playing in his 15th game. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. So no balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Check swing, and he said he did. So no balls, 2 strikes. McGuire gets his lead at first. And the pitch. There goes McGuire down to second. And he'll have the stolen base. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. The second stolen base of the year. Now in scoring position. If Lessenberry could drive something. 1-2 count on Les. The pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've moved to the 5th inning. Your score, Delta State 1, Henderson State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Will Robertson to lead things off for Delta State here in the 5th inning. First pitch to Robinson, a shot right up the middle, right to Darius Hawkins, and there's 1 away. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Brings up Ethan Gill. Was hit by a pitch and flew out the left. Hitting 323 right now. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. So the 1-1 from Pretty. Breaking ball. Inside corner for strike 1. So 1-1 count to Gill. The pitch. Chop right side of the field for a base hit. Second hit of the game, or the 5th of the game for Delta State. That'll bring up Ben Pickard. Walked and grounded out. And a pitch. High for ball 1.
1-0 count. Here's the pitch. He squares the bunt. Nice bunt. Pretty's quickly off the man. He'll go to first and get the runner going to first base. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Jacob Sweeney. So runner at second base now is Gill after the bunt by Pickard. Sweeney doubled his first time out and flew out to center field. Here's a deep fly ball. Well, not deep. The wind held it up. Man, it looked like it came off the bat quick, but McGuire was able to come in on it. It looked like it was going to head out of here in a hurry, but it was just an easy fly ball. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Your score, Delta State 1, Henderson State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, Jared Gage will step in for the Reddies. Walked his last time up and scored Henderson's only run. And the pitch to Gage. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Jacob Howell on for his 5th inning. Bunch of action in the Delta State bullpen. Here's a check swing he held up. And it's ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So you got to think Howell's done after this inning. And he's done a good job. Struck out 5 batters. Strike 2 call to Gage. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Ball 2, 2-2. Two count. Howe has his sign out. He'll kick and fire. Call, strike 3. 6 strikeout now. Reddy's taking way too many pitches, looking at too many pitches. Now we got Frank Cellino. Struck out looking back in the 3rd. Reddy shortstop. Swings and misses a strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch, high and inside, and it's 1-1. It's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Low, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Chelino. Pitch popped him up. Will stay in play. Third baseman Gill gives chase, but it goes out of play, and the count now 2-2. So 2-2 count to Frank Chelino. Here's the pitch. Swung on a missed for strike 3. Brings up Hunter Mayall. 0 for 1. He walked in the third. And the pitch. Outside for ball 1 to Mayall. Mayall hitting right at 250. Now the pitch. Outside 2-0. Jordan Taylor on deck for the Reddies. Hal really only had one difficult inning, and that was the third, when he walked a couple batters and gave up a hit. And now the next pitch is ball 3, 3-0. Gave out a 2-out single to Jordan Taylor that tied the game. Here's the 3-0. Ball 4, they walked him. And Mayall waited to make sure he was going to call ball 4. He didn't just throw the bat. Too many times a guy will throw the bat, and that's when the umpire will just go ahead and call the strike. This time he waited.
Third baseman, number 10, Jordan Taylor.
And Jordan Taylor will step in, the strikeout victim, and he also has the single with the RBI, scoring, driving home Henderson's lone run of the game. Hal taking his time. The pitch is low, and that's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Mayall getting his lead. Here's the pitch. Shot to left field, but Will Robertson, and he misplays it. Rounding third and headed for home will be Mayall. There will be a play at the plate. No, Mayall will score. It will be a stand-up double for Jordan Taylor, and Mayall scores all the way from first on the misplayed by Robertson. He really misplayed it. The wind took it, and he just went over his head, and the Reddies have now taken a 2-1 lead.
Number 12, A.J. Ruzel.
The third hit of the game, and now bring up A.J. Cruzel. Robertson came in off the when the ball left the bat, and it just sliced over his head and bounced, took a one hopper off the wall. Cruzel takes the pitch for ball 1. So the Reddies with a runner at second base, and they've taken a 2-1 lead on the double by Jordan Taylor. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Reddies now 3 hits, and Taylor with 2 of them. Now the 1-0 from Hal. Pitch fouled back into the screen. It's 1-1. Hawkins on deck for the Reddies. Hal again, slow to come home with it. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cruzel. 0 for 2, flew out to third and flew out to center. Gave it a ride last time. Went back to the track, but was able to be ran down by Brandon Cummings. 1-2 count to A.J. Cruzel. Here's the 1-2. Foul back, and he stays alive. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cruzel. Two-one score as Henderson State's taking the lead. Pitch. And that'll go in for a base hit to left field. A.J. Cruzel with a base hit, and Jordan Taylor will score just over the outstretched arms of Eric Santiago. And the Reddies have scored another run here in the 5th inning to take a 3-1 lead.
Center fielder number 7, Reddies, Hawkins.
The 4th hit of the game for Henderson State, and it's now 3-1. And Tadarius Hawkins steps to the plate. All the damage coming with 2 outs after Howe got the first 2 batters to strike out, a walk, a double, and a single. So the Reddies finding a way to score any way possible. And Hawkins calls for time. Now the pitch. Hawkins swings and misses, a half-hearted swing. So 0-1 count to Tadarius Hawkins. Here's the pitch, fouled out of play. And it's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first is A.J. Cruzel after the RBI single. Now the pitch. Swung on, and there's off the fist, and a nice catch by Santiago. But the Reddies do get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. They leave a runner stranded. We move to the 6th inning. Henderson State 3. Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Move to the top of the 6th inning. Henderson State just scored 2 runs to take a 3-1 lead. Let's see how Pretty will respond and how Delta State responds. Of course, they give Pretty a lead. We'll see if he can hold it here. And he will face Welch, Santiago, and Barrett here in the 6th inning. Welch lined out to center and walked so far, hitting .315. One run, 5 hit, no errors for Delta, 3, 4, and 0 for the Reddies. Pretty's first offering. In there for a called strike. Here's the 0-1. Fouled out of play, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Again, out of play, we'll do it again. Pretty now, ready. Here's the 0-2. Right up the middle, and then Reddies had it played perfectly. Had to shift on as Krusel was playing right behind the bag at second base. Chelino had shifted over, and Taylor on the line, and it went right to Krusel at second base, 4-3. And that'll bring up Santiago. 1 for 2 already. He grounded out and singled. .396 hitter. One of the better hitters on this team. This old Delta State team came in with .339 team average. That's pretty impressive. Only one guy in the starting lineup was hitting below 300. First pitch in for a strike. And when you look at Henderson's lineup, only 3 guys were above 300. The 0-1. In there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. That's one thing that I guarantee you Delta State knows the scouting report. They're going to take a lot of pitches, knowing that Henderson State's had some problems last week and with walks. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 1, 1 and 2. They've been taking a lot of pitches. The middle game of that 3-game series with Southern Arkansas already, pitchers had 9 walks in 2 innings and also had 2 hit batters. Here's the 1-2. There's a chopper to Jordan Taylor at third. He's up with it. Over the first, 2 away. And that'll bring up the catcher, Matt Barrett. Struck out and flew out to short. And the shift is on again. Not as far over, but Krusel did shift a little bit to his right. First pitch is low for a ball 1. Everybody shift a little bit to the right. Mayall probably about 30 feet off of first. Here's the next pitch. Outside for ball 2. Mayall about 30 feet off of first. Krusel just about 5 or 10 feet to the left of second base. Pitch. Ball 3. And when we look at it, our right of second base, his left. Here's the 3-0. Called strike 1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitch. Walked him. That's the number 9 hole hitter, and you don't want to do that with 2 outs, but that brings up Brandon Cummings. 1 for 3 today. Single, ground out, and fly out. And every inning, Delta State has had a base runner. And 2 away here in the 6th inning. And there's a shot to right field. Now go in. Nice catch for Joseph Gary. He came in a long way to get it. Looked like it was dying away from him. And he makes the catch to save extra bases. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. Your score, Henderson State 3, Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout and come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Bottom of the sixth inning, new pitcher on for Delta State as Zach Osbin steps in. Osbin, a 6'6", 250-pound junior from West Monroe, Louisiana. Another transfer from Northeast Texas Community College. No ERA. This is his first appearance. Is that correct? No, he's already pitched 4 innings. Given up 1 hit and 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. So, first pitch, Joseph Gary swung on and fouled back for strike 1. So, 4 innings of work so far this year. He's given up 1 hit. Struck out 6 and walked 1. So, strikeout pitcher. Next pitch outside for ball 1, 1-1. More action in both bullpens still. Here's the 1-1. Check swing fouled into the screen. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Outside, and it's 2-2. A few folks watching all over, whether you're a Reddy fan or a Statesman fan, watching us here on the HSU Sports Network. Here's the 2-2, swung on, and just fair into the corner will go. Gary will round first and head for second, and he'll have a leadoff double here in the 6th inning for the Reddies. Just stayed inside the line, and the 5th hit of the game for the Reddies. And that'll bring up Luke McGuire, hitting .381 on the season. Again, if you're wherever you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. We appreciate you joining us. It says we've been hitting around 50, 60 viewers off and on right now. It says 46, so not a bad turnout. We enjoy that. We enjoy everybody watching. I'm glad you can follow us one way or the other, or with it's the viewing the game or watching us on live, watching the live stats. Let us know where you're watching us from. If you're watching us from work, if you're watching us from Jupiter, Florida, like the Cruzels, or anywhere in Texas, like the Pretty family, or even if it's still here in Arkansas. And the first pitch to McGuire is a ball, as well, he thought Gary was getting too far off the bag at second base. He threw it down there, but Gary was back in there. You got to think, with nobody out, they're going to try to move Gary to third somehow. With McGuire, they're in on the corners. Welch and Gill in at first and third. Second and short, they're in a couple steps, but nothing major. And now creeping in is Welch, and he tries to lay down a bunt, and he reaches out for which would have been a ball, and pops it up into the screen. Just let it go. Don't force the bunt. How about my man Connor Brock, on a former Reddie? I guess I should say once a Reddie, always a Reddie. Part of the great team for Henderson State. Help build some of this tradition now. The Reddies make it to the regionals. Nice bunt laid down by McGuire. He does the job and almost beats it out. But a good job by Luke McGuire to move the runner to third on the sacrifice bunt here with one away. My boy Connor Brock on. Shout out to him. He was part of that fun year last year. And now Hayden Lessenberry with a chance to drive in a run. 3-1 for the Reddies. They lead it here in the sixth. Need to play another run. The infield's in, so Les just wants to get a nice fly ball here. And the pitch high, and it popped up out of the catcher's mitt, and it's ball one. So fly ball should give Reddies another run. Infield's in, trying to cut down the runner at the plate. The 1-0 count to Lessenberry. The pitch swung on and missed for strike one. Took his head off of it. His head came flying out. Was looking down the line, and he missed it. Keep your head on it, Hayden. You can drive this one. He tries to bunt, and he bunts it foul out of play. They try to do a safety squeeze, and Lessenberry bunted it out of play, and now it's 1-2. My man Lee Richardson, working and watching the game right here in town. Couldn't get out to the ballpark, but he's watching us. Also part of that team last year. He's got himself a ring, and I'm sure he's proud to show it off. Well, the 1-2 count to Lessenberry. The pitch swung on and missed. Exactly what you didn't want with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. My goodness, Henderson has done too much of that this year. It's something they got to correct here down the stretch. Now Jared Gage is up. He has walked and struck out looking. Man, a runner on third and less than 2 outs and cannot score it. You got to find a way to score it, run. And a pop up on the infield. The pitcher will make the play. Now the first baseman waves everybody off, and he slips and falls. So a second opportunity for Gage. Let's see if he can make it hurt. When you get that second opportunity, you have got to do something with it. You get new life, so do something with it. So Osmond looking for his sign from his catcher. Barrett. Gage at the plate. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and a little chopper foul. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. A leadoff double, and the guy standing at third base. It was a perfectly executed bunt by McGuire. He almost beat it out for a single, But Osmond was able to get Lessenberry to strike out. And now we're sitting with 2 outs and a runner on third and 0-2 count on Gage. This is something the Reddies have got to work on. You can't have runners on third and less than 2 outs and not score. It's going to hurt you in the long run. It's already hurt the Reddies several times this year. They've lost 6 extra inning games, and those games could have been won if the Reddies could execute just a fly ball or a bunt. One-two count to Gage. Fouled back, staying alive. Good job to keep a piece of it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here for Gage. And the pitch. High and away, and it's 2-2. Try to get Gage to go looking. So 2-2 count to Gage. The pitch. Swung on, check swing, fouled in the net. Oh, somebody down there in Cajun country watching this. Well, Sean Dunn down in Bruley, Louisiana. Got the old Gold Reddies, the Geaux Reddies. I lived down in South Louisiana for a couple of years myself, in New Orleans for 2 years, Natchitoches for 2 years, and Monroe for 10 years. So know all about that Cajun country. Glad you could join us. 2-2 count to Gage. The pitch. Swung on, popped up, out of play, and he's hanging tough. Good at bat for Jared Gage here. Two count. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch. Inside, almost hit him, and that count is full. So Gage, the full count against Osmond. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, struck him out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've played 6th. Henderson State 3, Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Well, Chris Pretty going to work his 7th inning. He'll face GM Brony here to start things off in the 7th. First pitch in for a strike. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, foul for strike 2. Boy, if we could get Pretty through the 7th inning, that'd be huge here. 1-2 count to Giambroni. Grounded into double play, doubled to left and flew out to second. Here's the 1-2, popped up out of play. Giambroni hitting .395 on the season. Well, 1-2. Popped him up. Let's see if the Reddies have a play. Hawkins makes a long run, and he does, and there's one away. Brings up Robertson. Will Robertson. Hitting .398, just under the 400 mark. Leading hitter on this team. He only has one official at bat. It flew out to center field, a walk and a hit batter. And this one will be a base hit to right center field. Will they hold him to a single? Yes. Gary cuts it off. And a good piece of hitting by Robertson. So Delta State with their 6th hit of the game. And that brings up Gill. Ethan Gill, the 3rd baseman. And the cleanup hitter. 12 doubles, 26 RBIs. He got to hit his last time up. And the pitch. High fly ball. That's deep, 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 deep. And Joseph Gary just in front of the track makes the catch for the 2nd out. Brings up Ben Pickard. With 2 away here in the 7th inning. Runner at first is Robertson, who singled. Reached on a 1-out single. Pretty looks for a sign from his catcher Gage and a pitch. Breaking ball inside for ball 1. Pickard grounded out to short, walked, and had a sacrifice bunt, so 1 official at bat, so he's 0 for 1 today with an RBI. Next pitch in there for a strike, so it's 1-1 count. So Pickard 1-1 count. 2 away in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch inside, and it's 2-1. Trying to get him with that inside pitch, but flirting with that as Pickard's right inside on top of that line. Now the 2-1 from Pretty. Breaking ball, chopper foul, and it's 2-2. Now let's see what Pretty has to offer here. Two count with 2 away. Here's the pitch from Chris Pretty. Breaking ball, got him swinging. Good job by Chris Pretty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left here in the 7th inning for Delta State. And we move to the bottom of the 7th. They're stretching them out here at Clyde Berry Field. Henderson State 3, Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Reddies lead it by a score of 3-1. Due up for Henderson State, Frank Cellino. Then we're back to the top of the lineup. Reddies need to get a couple more runs because it's only a 3-1 ball game. So 2 runs is definitely not enough, and I think we've seen the last of Chris Pretty. Another outstanding performance for the young freshman. He's worked 7 solid innings, gave up just 1 run. Had that one tough inning as the first pitch is fouled back by Cellino, where he walked a couple and hit a batter that forced in a run with 2 outs. But since then, he has done a great job for a freshman going against the number 24th ranked team in the nation today. So the 0-1 swung on and a base hit for Frank Cellino. Just over the stretched arms of Eric Santiago, and the Reddies have the leadoff single. The 6th hit of the game for Henderson State, and that brings up Hunter Mayall, who grounded out and walked twice. Now let's see if the Reddies try to move Cellino over to second base. Maybe that'll jumpstart Cellino. He struggled this year. Maybe that'll get him going. May all ready for the pitch. No bunt shown, and the first pitch is high for ball 1. Running at first is Cellino, who singled the lead off the inning. And Osmond worried about Cellino, and he quickly throws the first. Now the pitch. There goes the runner, and boy, nice job, and that's going to be a tough call there because he was going on the pitch. I'm going to call it a base hit. So the Reddies with another hit, as Jordan Taylor will step to the plate. And 2 on with nobody out. And Jordan Taylor has already got 2 hits today. And we'll see if he tries to move the runners over. The pitch. Call strike 1. So Reddies with 2 runners on here in the 7th inning and nobody out. Chance to add to their lead. Here's the pitch. A shot to left field will fall. No. And there's one away. Left fielder came in a long way to get it, and it just stayed up in the air just too long. And it's up to A.J. Cruzel now with 1 away. Cruzel 1 for 3 today with an RBI. So the pitch outside for ball 1. One 0 count to Cruzel. Pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1-1 count. There's the pitch. Swung on, fouled, out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reddies back-to-back singles to lead things off. Fly out by Taylor to left field, and now Cruzel trying to move him over. 1-2 count, though. Down in the count. This is a strikeout pitcher that they're facing, and he's got to protect. Tough pitcher for Delta State. So 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off again, and it's going to go out of play. And it almost hit the young Hooten boy right behind the dugout. The Hooten brothers played in Hayden and Houston playing ball back there and almost hit Hayden. Tell you, there's a good story with Hayden last year in Cary, North Carolina at the Division II National Championships. We'll get to it in a minute. 1-2 count to Cruzel. There's a shot again, a foul out of play. After the last game the Henderson State played, they all went to Dave and Buster's, and the players started playing games and collecting tickets. And Hayden wanted this big remote control truck, or some type of remote control vehicle. I know because I ended up hauling it back in my truck all the way from Cary, North Carolina, because they couldn't take it on the plane, and I drove. And we'll get back to that in a moment. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, a ground ball to the second baseman. The runners will move. They'll try to get the double play, and they will. Good double play turn by Delta State to get out of the inning. So for Henderson State, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. They leave a runner stranded. We move to the 8th. Henderson State leads it by a score of 3-1. Take a timeout and come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Top of the 8th inning to close the book on Chris Pretty. He did another great job today as he pitched 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, 1 run, walked 4 batters and hit 2, and that was primarily in that big, tough inning in the 3rd where Delta State scored their only run. He struck out a couple batters, and he is done for the afternoon, and he's on the chance to get the win as long as our man Blake Patterson can finish it off. And Patterson this year, 2-2 on the year with 1 save, 30 2/3 innings of work, has a 2.64 ERA, has struck out 34 and walked 11. And he's going to try to hold the fort down. Patterson, the freshman from Benton, Arkansas, trying to get the win or get the save for Chris Pretty from Terrell, Texas. And he's going to face Sweeney, Welch, and Santiago here in the 8th inning. And Patterson's first pitch to Sweeney outside for ball 1. back to our story in North Carolina, so all the Ready players started playing games and collecting tickets. And at the end of the night, as the next pitch is fouled back, they needed about 30,000 points or tickets or whatever you needed to get this truck. And they started at the counter. The workers at Dave & Buster's kept measuring, counting the tickets and everything. And she said something like 35,100. And it was a big cheer. And they got Hayden his truck and his monster truck. And it was something that the guys did for him. It was a great experience, as the next pitcher was a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Houston, the older son, was get to be bat boy, while Hayden had to watch from the stands during the tournament, and that was his prize for cheering on the Reddies. Next pitch is a ground ball to Jordan Taylor at third. He's got to get it across the field in a hurry, and he does, and there's one away. It's a good bunch of young men, this Henderson State team. Reddies received all kinds of compliments while we were in Cary, North Carolina, as the next batter is Welch, hitting .312 on the season. We stayed at the same hotel as the eventual national champion Tampa. That team had eliminated the Reddies in the semifinals. And we heard nothing but comments, not from just the Tampa parents, but everybody at the tournament. Next pitch outside for a ball. The beat writer for the local newspaper there that covered Henderson State and covered the tournament said he'll be a fan for life just because of the way the Reddies were so cordial to everyone. As the next pitch is low for a ball. Well, actually it's 3, you know. So Patterson 3-0 now. The next pitch in for a strike. It was an experience those guys will never forget. And some of the young ones would love to get back here someday, here soon. A lot of work to be done here throughout the rest of the season. Next pitch in for a strike on the outside corner. And that's because the batter showed up the umpire. That was going to be ball 4, there was no doubt, but the pitch was on the outside corner. Actually, it was over the white. It should have been ball 4, but he started running down before the umpire could make the call. And now the 3-2. Showing on chopper to Taylor, and he's not going to get it, and that'll be a hit. He had to come charging. That was his only play. And Welch will get on with a 1-out single. Now we got time called. And there'll be a pinch runner at first base for Welch. Kyle St. Pierre, the pinch runner at first base for Delta State here in the 8th inning with 1 away. And that'll bring up Eric Santiago. 1 for 3 today. Grounded out twice to third and singled. Hits the ball hard every time up. So the 7th hit of the game for Delta State. And the pitch. Breaking ball. In there for a strike. So no balls, 1 strike. Got to stay ahead of the hitters here. Make him earn it. Just got back in the bag, did St. Pierre. Pitch. In there for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. So 0-2 count to Santiago now. Again, trying to throw the first. Just get back into the bag to St. Pierre. Tell you, if he took just a half a step more, he would have been dead. He can't get too far off the bag because Patterson's having a great move to first right now. Here's the 0-2. High. Almost fooled him. And it stayed up, though. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 away here, and we played at the top of the 8th inning. Clouds starting to roll in. 1-2 count to Santiago to pitch. It gets away from the catcher to pitch outside for ball 2. 2-2 count. Well, there are ready pitchers in the pen, but they're not warming up. They're ready to go in case they get the call. Runner at first is St. Pierre. Santiago at the plate. The pitch. Oh, my goodness. It was right there and couldn't pull the trigger. That pitch was called earlier, and now it's not getting called. Squeezing them back behind the plate. Man. Now the payoff pitch going to come with 1 away. It's interesting to see what happens after a pitch like that, because usually a pitch that you thought you had him, the next pitch seems to hurt you. Let's see. Sets him up on the inside. Foul ball out of play. The runner was going on the pitch. 3-2 count with 1 away. Reddies holding on to that 3-1 lead. To the 50-plus fans that are watching, I'm glad you can join us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in late March. The payoff pitch from Patterson. Nope, he's going to go over to first again with it. Patterson again looking for his sign. Runner at first is St. Pierre, the pinch runner. Pitch. Oh, just gets back into the bag. So 3-2 pitch. Coming to Santiago. We're in the top of the 8th. The Reddies holding on to a 3-1 lead. Here's the payoff. Fouled again. And we'll do it again. Well, my future lawyer watching in Little Rock, Miranda Vaughn, in law school. Have to have her get her law degree, keep her be my future lawyer. Of course, Miranda, former Reddy herself. The pitch is outside for ball 4. A good job by Santiago to work the count. That brings up Michael Barrett. And see if we're going to have a pinch hitter. Yes, we will. I had a feeling we was going to get a pinch hitter here. And it is a pinch hitter for Delta State. Dakota Glore will pinch hit for Delta State. And he's their regular everyday player. And Cody Hooten's going to go out to the mound to talk to Patterson. Glore, a 308 hitter. And Hooten will have a few words with his young left-hander, or young right-hander, while Nick Vantio warms up in the Reddy bullpen. And I'm sure he's telling Patterson, let's get out of this. You know, Glore on the season. 12 for 39, 7 runs scored, 5 RBIs, 1 double. Left-handed hitter now. The umpires are going to break up the conversation. Glore, a 5'10", 215-pound junior. Of course, another transfer with the Mineral Area Junior College. So now let's see if Patterson can get out of this jam. First pitch. Called strike 1. 1 away. Runners on first and second with the Reddies leading by a score of 3-1 here in the top half of the 8th inning. Love to get a double play ball here. The 0-1. Just a bit outside, and it's 1-1. So 1-1 count. The pitch. Foul back, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Delta State with runners on first and second. Patterson looks back to runner at second. Now he'll kick and fire. Pitch. There's a ground ball to Cruzel. He'll flip it to Chelino. Over to first. Not in time. But good job by Mayall to block it. So 1 away. As Gore was able to get to first and beat the throw. It was a slow hopper. And that'll be back to the top of the lineup with Brandon Cummings coming to the plate. 2 away now. And now we'll have another conversation, as it looks like we're going to have another pitch runner. So Glore will be out of the game. Looks like Austin McLean. Austin McLean will now pinch run at first base. Cummings 1 for 4. He lined out to right, flew out to left, grounded out to short, and singled. He's hit the ball hard every time up. Hitting .359 on the season. He's got an RBI out there. Trying to draw closer. You can imagine that McLean will probably try to steal here sometime during this at bat. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1 on the outside corner. Action still in the Ready bullpen. It's Nick Vantillo. No balls, 1 strike. Patterson would love to get out of this inning here. Here's the pitch. High. Got to come through with it. Follow through with it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Runners on the corners. Reddies lead it by 3-1 here in the top half of the 8th inning. So 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. In there for call, strike 2. So Patterson working hard. Get through this inning. This is the last batter you want to face this inning. Murderer's Rose coming up. Here's the pitch way upstairs and high. It's 2-2. Yeah, Giabroni and Robertson and Gill are up next. Next 3 batters up, so you want to get out of it right here. Runner will probably go on the pitch. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball. Fly ball to left field. McGuire's going to come a long way. Will he make the catch? Yes, he will in foul territory. And Patterson's out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave a pair of runners stranded. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Henderson State leads it by a score of 3-1. We'll take a timeout and come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, some changes for Delta State as Andrew Bryan will now catch for the Statesmen. St. Pierre will stay in and play at first base. And the new pitcher will be Corey Beard. 0-1 on the season, 10 innings of work. He's given up 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, has a 1.80 ERA, and he's going to face Hawkins, Gary, and McGuire here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Rodney Eschberger from Tyler, Texas. Hello. Glad you're watching some Ready baseball here as they're taking on the 24th ranked Delta State Statesmen. In the first pitch to Hawkins is in there for a called strike as the Reddies lead at 3-1 here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's a single 9-inning game today. Originally it was a doubleheader, 2 sevens, but had to, due to scheduling issues, I had to change it to a 9-inning as the next pitch is in there for a strike 2 to Hawkins. So, again, if you're listening from somewhere, let us know where you're listening from, or watching, should say. 0-2 count to Hawkins. Pitch, there's a chopper to St. Pierre. It stays fair, and he'll make the play unassisted at first base, and there's one away. Brings up Joseph Gary. Gary, the right fielder for the Reddies. We'll see if be interesting to see if Patterson comes on in the 9th or Vantillo. Here's the first pitch. In for a strike to Gary, who's 1 for 3. He struck out and doubled, hitting .208. Here's the pitch, swung on for strike 2. So 0-2 count to Gary. Clouds now starting to roll in here. As expected, heavy rains tomorrow. Here's the 0-2. Swung on chopper, foul. So blue skies being overtaken by gray skies. So bottom of the 8th inning, here's the 0-2 pitch to Joseph Gary. And he calls for time. Here's the pitch. And he calls ball 1. The whole defensive unit thought it was a strike. Started moving into that motion to throw it around the horn, and the man behind the plate calls ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Going back on it is Cummings. Going back, and right up against the wall. He makes the catch. Gave it a ride, but he needed to pull it. If he pulls it, it's out of here. And he hit it to the deepest part of the park. Brings up the left fielder, Luke McGuire, with 2 away. So 2 away. McGuire 1 for 2 today. He had a single in the 4th inning, a sac bunt in the 6th, struck out in the 2nd. Pitch, fly ball to left field, making a long run for it will be Will Robertson, and he's going to get it right up against the wall in foul territory, and that'll do it for the Reddies. 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score: Henderson State 3, Delta State 1. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Ready Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. A new pitcher for the Reddies, Nick Van Teo, to come in and try to close it out here in the 9th inning. Van Teo, of course, the senior from Belgium. Heavy hearts, all his countrymen, his family over. Hopefully they're all safe, and hopefully they're listening. As with all the stuff that's been going on in Belgium, sad news, but Nick's here and his family's okay, and he's ready to try to close this one out. 3.57 ERA, 4 saves on the year, 17 2/3 innings of work, and he's got a tough task as he's facing Giabroni to start things off, then Robertson and Gill, so the heart of the lineup for Delta State. And the first pitch is high for ball 1 to Giambroni. Next pitch outside, and Nick had a hard time his last time against Southern Arkansas. And hopefully he can recover here. Don't want to put the leadoff runner on base. Here's the pitch. High, and it's 3-0. And he has struggled this year. He's pitched 17 innings, and he's walked 14. He's walked as many batters as he struck out this year. He has not been as consistent as he was last year. Pitch in there for a call strike, so 3-1 count. There's the pitch to Giambroni from Nick Van Teo. The pitch. Call strike 2. Count full now. Love to get Nick back into form, especially here to this last few weeks as we approach the conference tournament. Well, the payoff pitch. Fouled out of play. We'll do it again. Giambroni was late. Just did get it. A piece of it. And now the 3-2 again. And the pitch. High, and he walked him. And that's been his problem. His pitches have been high all year. He has not been coming through with it. And when he walks them, it's not outside or inside. It's been high pitches. And that'll bring up Robertson hitting .404 now. So Will Robertson, with 14 doubles on the season. And Delta State with the leadoff runner on here in the 9th inning. Robertson 1 for 2 today. Walked, hit by a pitch, and flew out to center, and then a single, and now ball 1, and now there's action in the bullpen in a hurry. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Action in the Ready bullpen, loosening up quickly. I believe it's Jay Holly. So 1-1 count. There's the pitch. Inside and high, and it's 2-1. And Nick's pitches are all high. So 2-1 count. He throws over to first. Giabroni's not going anywhere. The Reddies lead at 3-1, but we're in the 9th inning, and Delta State has a runner on first. 2-1 count on Robertson. The pitch. Base hit to left field. And now Delta State have runners on first and second and nobody out. We'll see if Coach comes out or he's going to leave him one more. And now Ethan Gill will step in. And Gill 1 for 3 on the day. Say you're in the middle of the lineup. This Delta State team hitting .339 coming into this one. You just was waiting for them to finally put it together. And right now they've got runners on first and second and nobody out. Reddies need a double play ball bad, and this pitch is not even close. Almost threw it to the backstop. Oh my. 3-1 count. This will be the last batter you think Vantia will face, regardless, because he is struggling. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike. 1-1 count. Runner at first is Robertson. At second is Giabroni. Here's the 1-1 from Vantillo. Swung on and miss for strike two. Now it's the first time he's ahead of the hitter. So 1-2 count here. Let's see what Vantillo does here. Big out right here. The 1-2. Breaking ball. Oh, my. Whoa, where was that one? Oh, my. That was a great pitch. I think it fooled the umpire. My goodness. Man, the fans don't like it. They're all over the man behind the plate today. I think the umpire thought he missed it too. Here's the 2-2 from Vantillo. The pitch. Swung on and missed. He came back and got him. So that'll bring up Ben Pickard, the designated hitter. So one away with runners on first and second. Here in the top of the ninth, the Reddies holding on to a 3-1 lead. Picker 0 for 2. He grounded out and struck out. Walked and had a sacrifice bunt. Here's the pitch from Vantillo way outside for ball one. Holly warming up in the bullpen for the Reddies. Vantillo would love the double play ball here. 1 ball, no strikes. Looks for a sign. And now the pitch. Low, and it's 2-0. A walk and a single and a strikeout. 1 away here as we play in the top of the ninth. With 2-0. Pitch. Call, strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-one pitch from Vantillo. Breaking ball. Ground ball to Cruzel. Back to Cellino. Over to first. This one belongs to the Reddies. Henderson State wins it by a score of 3-1. A double play ball, greatly turned by Cruzel. Came up on him, and he was able to stay in front of him, flip it to Cellino, and back to first base, and the Reddies win it by a score of 3-1 over the 24th-ranked Delta State Statesmen. A big victory for Henderson State. We'll take a quick time out, and we'll come back and wrap it up momentarily. Again, your score, Henderson State 3, Delta State 1. Back in a minute here on the Henderson State Sports Network. Well, back here we'll wrap things up as Henderson State improves to 15-17 overall with the win. Chris Pretty will go to 2-0. Nick Vantilla will pick up his 5th save. And the starting pitcher, Jacob Howell, for Delta State will go to 0-2 on the year. Your game time, 2 hours and 40 minutes. And the Reddies win this one by a score of 3-1. Henderson State now playing softball over at D. White Field. Reddies' next action will be on Friday when they take on Southwestern Oklahoma in Weatherford, Oklahoma. You can follow all the action on the Henderson State website. Again, your final score. Henderson State wins it by a score of 3-1. We thank you for watching Henderson State Ready Baseball here on the Henderson State Sports Network.